Hi, it's David here with Futures Trading. I want to give you some more information on your NQGC and the ES. Dimitri, thank you so much, my friend, for the comments you left. Um, I am so sorry that I did not respond back sooner. I've been really busy, my friend. I hope you understand. However, I do celebrate the fact, I really, really celebrate the fact that you are doing well. I can't thank you enough for letting me know that. It's really important that, again, that you're retaining the information. And I know, again, it may take a little time. It may take a little time to kind of put it all together, but it's good that you are at least profiting. That's the good thing, and I'm so excited for you. I really am. So again, you can are more than welcome to leave me as many comments as you like because I love to hear how you're doing. And again, whether you're profiting or if you're having trouble, just let me know that as well because I want to make sure that I'm able to help you in any way that I possibly can. All right. So here's the information from the 26th. So this was last Friday, I believe. All right. So kind of gave you a target there on the actually I said a couple targets, but gave you a target on the NQ. And we're going to take a look at that information really quickly here. But let's dive into that GC and I'm gonna kind of walk you through all of them again. Price was here. Okay, price was here on this bar, and we flipped the zones, of course, for the buy side. And because I told you they should go ahead and get through that high, and of course they did that. And I even told you they'll get up to the zone and then possibly rotate back over. But I was anticipating that they'll want to come down here to this 55. Okay, so that's that 55 down to 45. Wanted to see them kind of get back down here and then lift back up. Now I do know that we have the participation right here. We do, and so of course they made it to that zone. I kind of want them to come down here to this no close bar and then turn around and go back up. Kind of just move away from this a little bit. Just move away from it. Kind of dig down and then go ahead and give you that trend distance. But they may want to just stop here. They may want to stop here and then just go straight away to that trend distance moving into tomorrow. All right. So let's see if they can do that from here. Let's just see. But if not, I definitely anticipate that they, would turn from here. Hopefully, just go right back up and go get that distance. Them getting all the way here from here, I don't know. I don't know. But them getting here, should they want to come right back up tomorrow and get to it, them getting here should not be a problem if they do that. So from this zone right here, if they take right back off, let's see if they can go ahead and get here straight away. All right. If not, they may want to dig a little bit. And if they dig a little bit here, they will probably get here, then lean over and then give you this. All right. So let's see if that will happen. All right. Now, this is the ES, and we were on this bar. So this bar right here, kind of, I tried to put the arrow exactly where the bar was at when we should, shot the video here. Price was down here near the zone. It was near. And so price was on this bar here. We kind of drove into that, hit that intraday level. All right. So we hit that intraday level. And so we're going to take a look at that information as well. Now, I did tell you that they shouldn't get through this bigger zone here. So that's that 250 up to the 350. They shouldn't. And got a couple of intraday levels inside of here. So if they're going to rotate back over, because now they're beneath the center of the scale. So if we're going to rotate back over, it will probably happen somewhere up here. I don't anticipate they want to get this far, but if they do, possibly right into that first zone and then turn it back over. But we'll see. We'll see again, or they may just turn around and stay up. We'll have to see. But let's see what they do. That's all I'll tell you. Let's see what they'll offer us. Now, this is the bar. Well, this bar had closed. So we were working on the next bar, but price was right there on this bar here. Again, that was back on the 26th. Now let's kind of just scroll forward here and just kind of see what everything has turned into. All right, now I'm gonna scroll forward. You can pause the video, kind of see what the levels and the ranges look like with the activity here, and that's them hitting that zone. All right, so that's them hitting that daily zone. I kind of locked it in so you can see it on this chart here. And now let's scroll forward and take a look at what that FOMC did. Then we're going to dive right into now. That's that zone from above. All right, so I left that there for you. They still referenced that and kind of drove out of it clearly. Now, let's see what they did right here with this FOMC. Kind of got up there, stalled a little bit near the zone, but then, of course, they drove through it. All right. Now, with them driving through the zone, you would actually flip them. All right. So you would actually flip them. Uh, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Let's just leave them like it is. Let's just leave them like it is. But you would flip them upside down. Now, let's take a look at the NQ. I don't want to keep you too long here. Now I added this zone here. I added this one and these two. All right. So just to kind of show you if you wanted it, to catch that short down. And because remember the zones was on the buy side from here. It was on that buy side. Okay, that 55. It was the 55. 550 down to the 450, and they had drove through it. All right, so they took that level out, and then of course these zones right here, they of course was flipped upside down. So what I did was I just went on and added them. They wasn't there in the last video. It wasn't there. I took them away, but I wanted to put them back so you'll kind of see what it would have looked like once they broke this pivot, once they lifted up, how you could have caught that off of those static levels there. And so I added this zone as well. Now, price was here in the last video. It was there. Now let's take away this first zone. Let me get rid of this first zone. We don't need that because they went through that one, but they stopped here. So I actually put this zone on the next chart that I'm about to show you with the targets. And so they drove down here, kind of pulled up on that no close bar, came off for that day, but then of course they came back up, and this is what they're doing currently. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I believe, I believe, they're at the center of the chart. They may want to go ahead and start working on that uptrend. Maybe. Let's see what they do. They didn't had two of them and it didn't work. So, but let's see how it goes. But that's that intraday level there, and hopefully they'll get to it. Hopefully they'll stay up this time. I don't like this turn. I'm gonna say it to you one more time. I don't like it. I don't think for 1 minute that this would do anything different than the rest of these, and that's just my opinion. This one made more sense, if you ask me. It just made more sense. This one don't, for reasons that I can't tell you, but I don't like this. But let's see what it does. Let's see if it can keep going. All right, now let's go and take a look at. Before we do that, let's take a look at number 5. Targets that get hit. This is something I do show people how to do when they sign up with me. This is what I show you how to do, how to get real targets, and we're going to take a look at this information here. Now, this is price and where it was at on the last video, so it was like right here. It hadn't actually drove into this zone yet. Now this is that daily zone. All right, and I gave you that 670 above, and I did tell you it was like another one up at 850 something, 8 something, 860, I think, 860, somewhere in that area up there. Now remember the other targets. Now that's the thing, we still got targets above should they want to go that far. Let me refresh this. Should they want to go that far, I had told you about that 309 before they even broke down. All right, so before they even broke down, I told you about that. Let's kind of go back here. Let's kind of go back here, and this is when I told you about the 309. So price was here when I gave you the targets below. All right, so price was here, and I told you about that 309. I said if they want to, only if they want to go back up there, they had that 309. Now, clearly they had jumped up, hit that target that was right there, and then I gave you a couple that was below. And Dimitri, I told you about the target below the first. Well, the first I think was 248 or something like that. I had told you about that like 7 days before I told anybody else online. But they had made that 298. I'm sorry, it was 298. They had got there. I gave you guys that target a couple days before they had hit it, and then I gave you this one. Now, notice. Now, this is the thing I want to tell you. Notice that I gave you the target to the upside, that 670. I gave you that target, and I even told you about the 860 something. I told you about that one. Go back and watch the video and you hear me say it. I gave you the long targets, and I told you I'm gonna give you a couple of long targets closer to price. I never told you anything about anything to the downside. Never told you that. I didn't speak of any targets, to the downside that you need to be concerned about. I gave you the targets to the upside. And again, I'm trying to show you this is what I do off screen. So this is how I approach markets off screen. So there's that 670. That's that zone that I put there on that daily. So that wasn't there, but I put that zone there. Now notice they hit that static level there. All right, now I'm gonna kind of scroll the chart. And again, you can pay attention to the chart scale. Here's the center of the scale, the lower part of the scale, and the upper part of the scale. Now, as I scroll forward, you can watch all of that. All right. There's the range. Remember, I told you, use the center of your ranges, people. Please use the center of these ranges. Really important. I've done my homework for many of years, and I know that these ranges would get you at least some of what you would want out of the market. So if you're not, able to do targets, that's fine. Just use the ranges, do the trend, and you should be able to get some of what you want out of the market every day. Very simple stuff. Now, they gave you a lot. This was ugly. I remember this. This was ugly. And of course, they worked their magic and went up to the upper part of the scale here. This is the upper part of the scale. Just kind of got stuck in between the two. If you notice, there's the range. Kind of got stuck in between the center of the scale, the upper part of the scale, and just worked their magic. All right. Now, drop down near the lower part, chart adjust, and then of course we were right at the center of the scale with the adjustment. There's the gap up to the upper part of the scale. Still trading kind of in between there, just playing it back and forth. All right. Now, again, use the ranges. Really important that you use those ranges. And you can pause the video, go back, and you will see you can get some decent runs off of the range. Absolutely. All right. Now, let's take a look at where they're at currently. All right. So, this is, of course, that back and forth, real volatile, just back and forth. All right. Center of the range, got to use that. Make sure you do that. All right. Now, let's see what the FOMC offered us here. Kind of scroll this forward here. And that's that zone that I had drew on that daily, and they kind of held you there. Okay, they kind of held you there throughout their whole ordeal with the FOMC, and then finally got that 670. So that's that target I gave you on last Friday on the 26th. Didn't give you no downside targets, only the upside one. And again, we got another one up at like I think it was like 860. I told you 860, but I told you if they can get to that, I think it was 860, 870, somewhere in there. I told you if they can get to that, they may want to go ahead and get up here and get this one. So if they can get up to, I think it was like 860, I do. I think it was like 860. I told you that they can possibly go in and get there. So if you want to shoot for this target here, and if they can get there, yes, they'll get these other two. I wholeheartedly believe that. So if you want to shoot for that, that's totally up to you. But here's the targets here, and I will be back to check on you guys probably sometime next week. All right, so I don't want to hold you too long. I hope that you've been enjoying, of course, the information. And again, Dimitri, I celebrate the fact that you're doing well, my friend, and keep up the good work. Take care.